Hi guys, today we're going to learn how to make mutton biryani, which is one of the signature dishes that my mother used to make. Just before we start the video, this video is not for those who wish to just get a recipe so quickly off me. I'm not praising myself, but this is my mission in the video, just to make you enjoy your cooking, have some passion in it, and learn. That's my style. It's not just to give you a recipe and there you are, try it out. No. Decided to approach it very differently. So mutton biryani, 2 kilos of meat, clean mutton meat which I've washed, and my mom used to say that the main 70% of cooking is preparation. So remember that, and maybe you can learn one or two things from me today. So I'm just heating the oil, and I've got 3 chopped onions which are ready to go into the oil once it's heated, and then we can carry on with the video. It wouldn't be very short, it's going to be a long video teaching you more about cooking, and I'd love to interact with anyone who has any questions on my video channel. So we can kick off. Basically I'll be moving around just to show you how I get my cooking done. Obviously I've learnt it from my mom, who left behind a legacy, and my friend as well, one of my friends in university who also taught me how to cook. So mutton biryani, famous over the world, Hyderabadi biryani you can call it, or your desi mutton biryani, because we're all desi. So desi is a term used by the Asian continent, and there go our chopped onions into the oil. So you can feel that. And I disappeared just to get the main tool that's used in the preparation. So we're just going to fry the onions until brown, and then we'll carry on with the rest of the cooking. So it will take about 2-3 minutes until we fry the onions a bit brown, and after that I might have to take my jacket off. Don't ask me why it's on, but it's been a bit chilly, and just decided to keep it on today. As we carry on with the cooking, it's going to get a bit hot in the kitchen, maybe might take it off, let's see. So I've got some fresh garlic, fresh ginger, and obviously medium heat already on. And just to show you the pan, so that's my pan, you can see it. That's me. My meat is here as well, so we'll just carry on lightly frying the onions, and you can cover them if you want, there's no harm. So Basmati rice, that's what we'll use. It's the best, obviously, and not 1121, although a lot of the people are using 1121 in in the Far East and in Pakistan and India. Sela is used quite often because of its long grain, but Basmati is fairly excellent in cooking. So I'm going to use that Basmati, and so my mutton is about 2 kilos, as I earlier mentioned, and cleaned up. I cut 3 onions, chopped, and I'm going to get in my 5 tomatoes as well, chopped, and I'll get back to you on the spices. So I'm carrying on now with just chopping my tomatoes. Doesn't have to be too big, just smaller, and obviously as I mentioned earlier, this video is not for the faint-hearted who just want to rush through a recipe and get over it. I take my time to explain so that you can indulge into my experience. And Rome wasn't built in a night, so you need to take your time and understand. Okay, so basically the onions are now brown, and all the ingredients are ready. Cloves, very important. Now normally I do cook the meat with inside a pot like that, or be it my chicken or meat, but I will transfer it now into the pressure cooker so that spend a bit of less time doing the meat, and it can gain some softness. So here we go. I will still use this pan later on, so I needed to get the onions brown. Obviously it's a secret behind it, so you don't need to do it in a pressure cooker first. Just do it in a pan and then keep it aside, and then we get back now to the pressure cooker. Now brown onions already. If you want, you may add some oil, but what I decided to add is a bit of ghee. It's a secret, which the 2 tablespoons is okay. Remember the desi code I told you, so we need to add a bit of this, just a bit of ghee. Let's carry on now. So that's done. Now we need to add the meat very slowly into the pressure cooker, where it will cook for about 25 to 30 minutes, depending on whether it gains its softness, and it needs to be cooked. So there we go. The meat is into the pressure cooker. Just stir a bit, mix the onions, and trying to get every aspect of the onions onto the meat. And now we add what we call the masalas into the mix, into the pot, pressure cooker, sorry. So we can start with ginger garlic paste, which is already done. Now we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so about 6 teaspoons of ginger garlic paste, fresh, so nothing, it's all organic. Basically everything I do is organic, and has to be organic. I was thinking of putting some pink salt today rather than your normal salt. That would be an option we have. So here we are, Himalayan pink salt, which we're going to use. It's a bit more healthier, a healthy option to do. I won't put too much because obviously our rice may have a bit of salt as well. So I'm looking at about 2 teaspoons of the salt. Then we go to the main ingredients. So I've got a bit of chili powder, just 1 teaspoon, small one, and then I have some turmeric, another 1 teaspoon, and then we have some cumin powder, also 1 teaspoon, just to add on to that. By the way, I'm not feeling hot as yet, so I don't need to take off my hoodie. So that's all we need to put. Just a bit of we call it zira. I'm just being a bit of a desi here. So 1 teaspoon zira powder, and we carry on stirring. The heat should be full, so just stir the meat in. So remember, we need to make sure we get it stirred. And let it cook. Let it cook for a few minutes. Let it cook for a few minutes, and we'll see how we're getting along. Yeah, it's getting a bit hot here. So okay, so the meat is in, and now we add, I chopped in 1 green chili just for flavor and maybe a bit of spice, and I got in my tomatoes. So 5 chopped tomatoes, fairly big, into the pressure cooker, and I think you can hear the cooking taking place now. Trying not to be too messy, so always look after hygiene in the kitchen. That's the number one. My mom always used to say is start with Bismillah, and I did. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So we've just put in all the ingredients, cleanly done, and so I've just taken off my disposable gloves, and going to cover the pressure cooker now. So just cover it up. It's taking a bit of time. So basically we're all learning. All have take some time to learn. So I was just trying to close the pressure cooker. Just decided to add 1 cup of water, just in case while it cooks there's a bit of a hitch, so that it doesn't burn in the pressure cooker. It's important to add the water. So that is one, and carrying on now to close the pressure cooker basically. Okay, so I've just managed to close the pressure cooker, giving it at medium heat. We need to give it about 15 to 20 minutes and then we'll check it out again. Okay, so here we go again. While the meat is cooking, I thought that we should make a salad, and this is a quick salad I'd like to just make. In the Eastern African region, we call it kachumbari. So it's basically chopped onions and tomatoes, and for the flavor, chop in a bit of onions, tomatoes, and some lemon. So we're just getting that done. I had an onion chopped from an extra onion, but since we're about five people, we will have 2 onions chopped, so finely chopped. I'll use the thinner knife. Finely chopped onions. I'm sure you can hear the pressure cooker revving up engines. Sorry, this is not about Boeing or Airbus, but this is about us learning how to appreciate my cooking skills, passing it on to you as well so that you can try this at home. Just smoothly chop them very thin. I'm going to show you the onions very soon. So I had initially decided to make a different recipe today. My mom used to be great at it, and she learnt it from Malawi, which is it's a pilau, which is called yakni, and I mean, it was out of this world when she used to cook it. May Allah grant her Jannah. So I had cut the onions, and the initial ones I had cut were for the yakni, but I changed my mind and decided to make the mutton biryani. So here we are, trying to just make them a bit smaller. Excuse my cutting skills, they're not as good as a chef. So basically this video may teach you that you can do anything in life, you know, you just don't have to be so good at it. This is my belief. You've got to try, and that's what I'm doing here. But I bet you that the dish I'm making is going to be just like my mom's. So she taught me this recipe, and I'm just trying to teach myself again. I mean, I find solace in cooking, and when I say solace, I mean it's becoming a passion over the weekend when I get some time off work and just start experimenting with food, connecting with nature, and cooking also, you know, it teaches me a lot. We have to always thank the Almighty in every situation we're in. I mean, He's blessed us with so many blessings that we can only keep thanking Him for all our blessings. And the more we thank Him, the more He blesses us and thinks about us. So we have to thank our Creator who brought us to this world for a purpose. And this purpose is to find ourselves, to think about Him, our Creator always. So cooking also teaches me that. More importantly, it does connect me. The ultimate goal is it connects me to the Creator, because the Creator has provided for us and we have to give back to the society. So I've chopped the onions. As you can see them chopped, and I'm just going to put them into a bowl. So it's exactly 2 onions, finely chopped 2 onions. And now I'm going to get my tomato ready. One can do depending on how I feel it will be. So ratio of 1 to 2, or if you get so this is not the tree tomato, but it's just a normal tomato. I couldn't find them in the store the other day. Supply issues sometimes here and there, but anyhow, it's going to be less sweeter, but it won't make a big of a difference later on. So finely chop the tomatoes and start just placing them around. Now there's normally the seed in the tomato. I would like you to forgive my pronunciation. Tomato, as long as I'm passing my message across. I hope you can understand it. So this finely chopped one should do the job. Really, I've got another one as well, but I don't want to make it too watery. So finely chopped tomato. Oh gosh, this got my jacket still on today, so not feeling too hot. And gloves always. Lemon, very important. So these are one of those bigger lemons, so just finely squeeze it into that. It just adds a bit of ting to the kachumbari. So I've only squeezed in half. I don't want it to get too sour, but it will do the job. So half should be enough. We'll keep the rest aside. We might need it for the biryani. And some Himalayan salt. So just under a teaspoon of salt, and then we just stir it. So just stir the salt around. You don't need to put too much. So what I normally do is stir it and then give it a fine bit of got one tomato there which wasn't cut properly, so I've just cut that. So there you are, that's our kachumbari there, neatly done. And now we'll glad wrap it and put it into the fridge, just to keep it a bit cool and wait for the evening. And we'll go on to the meat now and check it out. Okay, so we're back. I just wanted to update you that I've just turned off the mutton now after 30 minutes in the pressure cooker, and now I'm gonna make the rice. So 2 tablespoons of ghee. So they call it tarke wale chawal in Punjabi or Urdu. So basically, chop half an onion. You don't need to finely chop it. Just put it. Just put a few pieces of onion and let it cook in the dish. So this is a different pan for rice. Just a simple one. 2 tablespoons of ghee, and put that aside. Now my rice for 2 kilos of mutton. Sorry, mind the noise, it's my parrot in the background. We're just having a good Sunday afternoon today, whistling away. So there we are, got the ghee inside, just making the onions brown. Again, you can either use boiled rice or you can cook the rice using my method. It might have an impact on the end result, but we're experimenting, so we'd like to just try it out this way. We call it a bit more desi way. So you can hear the ghee frying. And I've boiled 4 cups of water so that we can go into the rice. So obviously it's 2 cups of rice, and that's my size of cup. See the boiling water in. Gosh, I need some tea now. Yeah, I might just decide to make some tea, have some along. It's good to have some tea when cooking. I just learned this from one of the chefs I've been following. So the onions are all turning brown. So the meat I've switched off for now. We'll have a look at that in a while. Let's focus on the rice. So as the onions get brown, we need to add a bit of hot water to start off. 1 cup, and then we start pouring the rice in. So it's just browning at the moment. It's taking a bit of time. Okay, I've washed the rice. 2 cups of Basmati rice, as I mentioned earlier on in the video. Just good to remind you all that I'm using Basmati rice for this biryani. And the onions are about to get brown now. Remember, 2 tablespoons of ghee or 2 teaspoons of ghee or 1 tablespoon of ghee. It's your choice. This is for the tadka style rice. And almost brown. Once again, I do apologize for my lack of knowledge on culinary language or chef language, but obviously the main thing is that whether you need to have a lovely biryani at the end of the day. So here we are, brown, and now we're ready to pot away with the water. It's going to make a bit of a splashy noise because of the oil. That was good. Now we'll just pour in the rice very slowly, delicately, to avoid any breakage. So we have put in 1 cup of water, and now we're going to put the rest. So we have 3 cups of hot boiling water to put in. Remember, I've avoided the salt, so this is cup 2, then goes in cup 3. So I'm just avoiding to use direct, just taking it with the plastic, a bit of rice left up. And this is a final cup of water. There we are. So just utilizing each grain of rice left over. That's done and dusted. I do have a bit of hot water left for my tea, which I'll cover this up. So it's closed, tightly closed. Okay, and let it cook for 10 to 15 minutes. You don't have to have it on high heat, just medium heat. By the way, the mutton was cooking on very low heat in the pressure cooker. There's no need to exaggerate on heat. Give it time, let it cook with time, there's no hurry. So when you're preparing this biryani, make sure you have enough time. So getting my mug of chai. Here we are, just making a quick cup of chai. So, hope I wasn't too long. I'm just going to do a quick black tea with sugar in. I love my sugar, so 2 teaspoons, and here we go. So that's the trick for chai. So, hope we're having a nice session here. So just keep in the tea bag for a minute or two and then get rid of it. And here we are now with the meat. So we need to check it out. Open it up and see how far we've gone with it. Okay, so we managed to, let me just have some tea. Tea is very nice, especially Kenyan tea. It's one of the best. So I just, the rice will take about 10 minutes. We've got the meat open up. I hope you're enjoying the video and not getting too bored. So the meat is done, as we can have a look at it. Now, key movements. What's going to happen is we're going to transfer the meat into the first pan we used. So basically, the reason is there's a lot of so I've just checked the meat. The meat is ready, it's cooked, it's soft. You need to check that before making the transfer. So this will be the end of the pressure cooker. We drain everything into the pot. Well, we might use a pressure cooker later on, but we'll decide on that. So here we are, all the meat into the pan. Okay, so that's done. Now what we need to do is, without moving the meat much, we need to just put it on low heat. Okay, let it cook so that it loses its water retention. Let it lose a bit of the water it had. Obviously it can be, let's cover the pan. So there we are, covered up. Here I am. Okay, so just to add, forgot to put some salt in the rice. You can add. I'll just put some pink Himalayan salt. A teaspoon will do the job. And the rice is cooking well. Don't need to show a video as that now. And so is the meat, splashing away. Now, one thing I remember Mom used to do, and is the lemon. So the secret is just that lemon which was left. I just squeeze a bit of that. If you want to see it, so squeeze it into the meat. Get some. So it's good. Lemon is a very good thing to add. I love it. I love lemon. So just keep squeezing it into the meat. It's not too complicated, really. You can put one, or you can just add another half. So I've squeezed the lemon into the meat. We're just drying out the water now. The rice is cooking, almost ready. In the next 5 minutes or so. So I hope it's not too complicated, but if it is, you can always look at the recipe, because I'm going to share it below. I'm not a recipe man, but I will share it definitely for you to, if you really want to try and do it without watching my video. But for best results, you have to watch the video. Excuse me, I don't like standing up and having tea, but I'm at work, so I have to do that. So just stir the meat occasionally, but don't do it too much, because you can break the meat. It's very tender at the moment. We don't want to break the meat and have it all mushy up. So just, it's quieting down now. It's getting a bit quiet, the meat, which is a good sign. Right, have a look at the rice. Oh, love that smell. So we're getting there. I used to love rice with butter since I was a child. Plain rice with just butter. I've always been a fan of butter, but I guess as we get old, we forget our childhood, but we shouldn't. We should always have those childhood memories, because when you remember your childhood, you remember things that you'll never do again, and which you should, because the childhood era was a stress-free era. You would. That's why they say you should bring back your childhood memories always. Run away to the faraway lands, and remember when you were a child, you would always try, and you would always experiment. So this is what I'm trying to bring back as well into my lifestyle, experimenting, cooking, just taking off, doing things that Mom used to love doing. And I always tell my wife that we should do this. It's important to, and she encourages me. Behind the success of a man is always a woman. My mom, all these recipes, my wife pushing me to cook occasionally. I don't like seeing her too much in the kitchen, which is good, and I'm also there. So for all the men out there, it's good to cook. My dad, he once or twice or thrice a week, he's always doing barbecue. That's not my area, because I I'll fail, but why am I saying fail? I have to try, so I will, inshallah. The meat is cooking away. We're getting ready for the biryani. The main part, the final part, will be the layering of it. I'm just waiting for the meat, the water to settle down. We don't want to have a very runny biryani. We want to have it solid and sturdy. Our rice are almost done. Wow, I keep getting that aroma. So I have my gloves on and I won't be able to taste at the moment. I'll get a spoon. I'll do it in a very hygienic way, obviously. Covered it up. Okay, so here we are. Just getting the water as dry as possible from the meat. Just drying it out, making it a bit sturdy, and it's ready to layer now in the next minute or so. So you can have a look at that, just trying to get it sturdy, drying out the water basically. So next step will be layering. It's been about an hour and a half just trying to get things right with the rice. The rice is done. Sorry, the rice and the whole biryani process. Now I've just finely cut some lemons on the side. The purpose of that is just to decorate the biryani at the top. Moreover, we need to add 1 teaspoon of cumin powder, 1 teaspoon of coriander powder, just to give it a finish. So I've already put them in, and I have an extra spice which is Garam Masala. Garam Masala is basically a combination of cinnamon powder and black pepper. It's good to add it just for flavor, so just slowly mix it into the meat. Although we slowly mix it up into the water, just adding flavor into the final dish, making sure it dries out quickly. Okay, so give it about 2 or 3 minutes before so that the masalas, or the cumin powder and coriander powder and garam masala can just soak into the meat. So I hope you've been enjoying it. We're down to the final leg, the wire now, of the layering process, and here we go. So just letting it dry for the next few, and I'll bring it down here now where we can do the layering. Hope you can see me clearly. And that's our biryani dish for today. Got some lemons, as I mentioned, chopped. Just about 1 big lemon, just to decorate it at the top. And then just a bit of food color, you can add it. Let's start. So, the rice. We'll kick off with the rice. Just get some layering done. Okay, so make sure you don't break the rice. That's rule number 1. Gently put in the rice at the bottom. Okay, that's your first layer. Just make sure you place it very carefully. So that's layer 1. Okay, we might have about 3-4 layers. So I have done my layer one. It's about 2 inches, 1 to 2 inches high. Okay, and we have now officially turned off the meat. It's ready to go into the pan, and I will start my layering. So without further ado, we get in the meat slowly but surely. Try and get in the masala as well in the bottom layer. So you have to do it equally, making sure that each and every part of the dish has a portion of the biryani in. I'm sorry if you can't see me, but I'm here just trying to do the layering right. Okay, so I've put a bit of meat already, and now we go on to layer 2, layering number 2. So this will get us to halfway. We are layering now the rice on top of the meat. Make sure you do it very slowly with a lot of love and patience. Biryani requires a lot of love and patience. So this is our second layer now of rice. We already have a layer of meat below it. Okay, so that's done. We have layered that successfully. Now we move on to our second layer of meat. Okay, which is at the top of the rice again. Make sure you get in your masala wherever possible. So that's equally important. So don't get me wrong, this is my first time doing the layering. Oh, that's much better now. I did make biryani, not mutton, but I was good at chicken. Oh, the jacket's been on today. This is quite a surprise. It's doing a good job hanging in there. Despite the heat we've had in the kitchen, we have finally finished. So now we have to coat it with the final rice layer on top. Has to be rice. So we'll put as much as get all the meat in. Now the second layer of meat it's quite important to lay it as much as possible. I don't think we'll have 4 layers, so we've had 2 layers of rice. I might have underestimated the layering rule, which is equal throughout the rice, but having said that, we've got a good number of rice, adequate rice and adequate meat, so our calculation was spot on that. I just pray that everyone does enjoy it. So that's the final layer of rice now going at the top, and we are layering the rice now right at the top. So thankfully the basmati rice was well cooked. So you don't mind my funny reactions when layering. I do have the tendency to make a funny face here and there. So here we are, just getting each and every grain of rice. It's not good to waste. Each and every grain of rice to cover the top. Sorry, don't mind the noise. Not a fan of noise pollution either. Okay, done. So a bit of food color, bit. You don't have to. It's just for the. It's just trying to get the biryani look in. And then we have something called the dum. So a dum is very important. It's the final phase, the biryani. Now just adding a bit of food color to the top, and we're done. Don't need to do so much, but just basic. Just basic. Just part of the layering process, and I'm digging the spoon in just to make sure that the food layering is the food coloring is getting into the rice. Okay, we're done. Now the lemon, just to decorate. We could have done it later on as well, but it's good the flavor can disappear in. And then so just before I close it, I can switch my camera and show you. So having a bit of a challenge with my camera today, so hopefully we'll get it right. So wow, that's it. That's the biryani. We've done it, mutton biryani. And feel free to give in your thoughts. Feel free to share your thoughts. And yes, so done. Just cover it up and then push it into the oven for dum. Dum is very important. It's basically just leaving the rice and the meat, giving them some time in the oven. Just we can serve it after an hour or two max. Best served with our kachumbari, which we made earlier on, and lettuce, and not forgetting the yogurt. So we haven't made the yogurt yet. You can get it ready made. Some people do like making the desi yogurt at home, but we have our yogurt, just Greek style yogurt from the local supermarket, and we'll have it with that. So I will share some pictures as well on the page, and hopefully you can follow us, subscribe to the channel for more videos as I get to learn on this journey of cooking. Once again, thank you very much, and we hope you can try your mutton biryani at home. So it took about 2 hours, which wasn't too bad, and we finally made it. Happy biryani, everyone, and keep biryaniing. I would say that, because biryani is a very important dish in the subcontinent, and we too love biryani as much as you do. So our video ends here. Do comment. We are happy to hear your critiques, comments, criticisms. We have to hear them out and take them on board for the next videos to come. Thank you.